Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Update. I am Chinatu Oji. We begin with the headlines. Federal government launches 10 million naira support scheme for tertiary institution workers. Federal government targets over 2 million jobs through renewed hope housing program. Enugu and other states challenge NERC's monopoly on electricity pricing. UN chief urges end to hunger as weapon of war at Africa Food Summit. In health, FG unveils cancer treatment subsidy. In business, Africa set to celebrate quality excellence at 2025 African Quality Congress. And in sport, Orama FC chairman pledges 1.5 million naira to Super Falcons for AFCON victory. Now the news in full. The federal government has introduced a new welfare initiative called the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund, TISSF, aimed at providing financial relief and professional development opportunities for academic and non-academic staff in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education across Nigeria. Under the scheme, eligible staff can access loans of up to 10 million naira, not exceeding 33.3% of their gross annual salary, to support needs such as transportation, medical care, and small business ventures like poultry farming. Speaking at a high-level stakeholder engagement in Abuja, Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alaosa emphasized that the fund is part of the administration's broader efforts to reposition the nation's tertiary education system. Alaosa said TIS is not just about welfare, it is about empowerment, stressing the importance of ensuring that education personnel are equipped to live well, grow professionally, and contribute meaningfully to institutional excellence. The Minister of State for Education, Suwaiba Said Ahmad, noted that the scheme was the result of extensive consultations with staff unions, institutional leaders, and key stakeholders. The initiative will be executed in collaboration with the Bank of Industry, which will manage fund disbursement to guarantee transparency and accountability. According to a statement by the Ministry's Director of Press, Folashade Boriowo, a robust monitoring and evaluation framework has been established to track the program's progress. The launch was attended by representatives from the Tertiary Education Fund, the Bank of Industry, and heads of tertiary institutions who expressed strong support for the scheme. Moving on, the federal government has announced plans to generate more than 2 million jobs nationwide through the Renewed Hope social housing program, a flagship initiative aimed at addressing Nigeria's housing shortfall while creating massive employment opportunities. Minister of Housing and Urban Development Ahmed Dangiwa made this known during a briefing with the House of Representatives Committee on Housing and Habitat at the National Assembly. Under the scheme, 100 housing units will be constructed in each of the 774 local government areas, targeting low-income earners, the unemployed vulnerable groups, and internally displaced persons. According to Dangiwa, the project will employ approximately 25 people per site across 77,400 locations, translating to over 2 million jobs. Funding will be sought through the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund, with a national housing bill to follow once documents approved by President Bola Tinubu. Dangiwa cited active development in Abuja, Kano, and Lagos, noting a potential delay in Abuja due to pending road construction. He also confirmed that housing subscriptions have begun, with developers already recovering investments. Moving on, a dispute is brewing between state governments and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) over who has authority to set electricity tariffs. Enugu and other states have pushed back against NERC's claim that subnational entities cannot fix tariffs, arguing that recent constitutional and legislative changes give them the legal right to regulate electricity distribution. Enugu's Special Advisor on Power, Joe Aneke, insists that the state's new tariff structure focuses solely on distribution costs without interfering in generation or transmission. The Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission (EERC) recently slashed ban 8 tariffs from 209 naira to 160 naira per kilowatt hour, prompting pushback from NERC power generation companies and distribution firms. NERC warned that any tariff deviation could destabilize electricity markets if it fails to incorporate wholesale generation and transmission costs. But Aneke defended the court, citing inflated claims in cost recovery by main power, which EERC said were corrected after data verification. While the Niger Delta Power Holding Company argued that only NERC can set tariffs since its plants are tied to the national grid, State officials disagreed. Lagos Commissioner for Energy Biodun Ogunleye said that states should have room to propose tariff reductions just as they can propose increases. With EERC set to meet main power over its petition, the broader debate over electricity regulation highlights the shifting dynamics in Nigeria's evolving power sector. Moving on now, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for an end to the use of hunger as a weapon of war, as world leaders gathered in Ethiopia for the UN Food Systems Summit. Addressing delegates via video link, Guterres emphasized the urgent need to combat hunger, affecting over 280 million people across Africa. He warned that climate change and conflict from Gaza to Sudan are severely disrupting food systems and humanitarian aid. The African Union AU echoed the urgency, calling on global donors to step up support for Africa amid worsening poverty, civil unrest and climate-induced disasters. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, head of the AU's Executive Commission, highlighted that nearly 3.4 million Africans are on the brink of famine and over 10 million have been displaced by drought, floods and cyclones. He urged AU member states to allocate 10% of GDP to agriculture, but stressed that external financial support is essential to building nutritional resilience. The summit comes as Western aid cuts further strain food access across the continent. Meanwhile, in Gaza, famine and malnutrition have surged since Israel imposed a blockade in March. Despite a limited resumption of aid, over 100 NGOs report mass starvation spreading. In Sudan, UN officials warn of the world's least remembered humanitarian crisis, with ongoing conflict displacing over 7 million people. The international community is being urged to prioritize food security before millions more fall into extreme hunger. We now go on a quick break. The news continues when we return. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Idea TV News Update. Now the rest of the stories. In health, in a major step toward affordable cancer care, the federal government has launched a cost-sharing scheme in partnership with the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, offering subsidies of up to $400,000 for radiotherapy treatments. The move is aimed at easing the financial burden on low-income cancer patients across Nigeria. As part of the initiative, the government also commissioned 3 new oncology centers in Katsina, Nsukka, and Benin, each equipped with cutting-edge diagnostic and radiotherapy technology. The new facility is located at the Federal Teaching Hospital in Katsina, University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital in Nsukka, and University of Benin Teaching Hospital, expected to serve over 2,000 cancer patients annually and provide diagnostic services to more than 350,000 Nigerians. The centers will also act as training hubs for over 500 oncology clinicians in the next 3 years, under a public-private partnership involving the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority and its healthcare subsidiary MedServe. This marks the first phase of the government's plan to establish 10 oncology centers by 2026 under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The next phase includes a new site in Maiduguri, Port Harcourt, Ilorin, and Yola, set for commissioning on World Cancer Day 2026. According to the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, the initiative is part of the national effort to ensure affordable, equitable, and accessible healthcare for all Nigerians. And in business, the African Quality Academy is gearing up to host the 11th edition of the African Quality Congress, along with the African Quality Achievement Awards and a dedicated exhibition. The high-profile event is scheduled for later this month at the Rental Hotel in VI, Lagos. This year's theme, Managing Quality for Growth, Innovation and Improvement, reflects the Academy's commitment to promoting a strong quality culture and advancing best practices across the continent. Organizers say the Congress has become a key platform for driving professional engagement and continuous improvement throughout Africa. It will bring together top leaders from government, businesses, and civil society to explore practical strategies for elevating quality standards. A major highlight will be the African Quality Achievement Awards, which will honor individuals and organizations that have shown exceptional dedication to quality assurance, performance excellence, and customer satisfaction. In addition to the awards, the event will feature a dynamic quality exhibition and showcase, offering companies a platform to present their quality-driven innovations and engage with key stakeholders. Backed by the World Quality Alliance and a Chartered Quality Institute UK, the event underscores Africa's growing focus on quality leadership. And now in sports, the chairman of Orama Football Club and Academy Abuja, Dr. Pat Orama, has congratulated the Super Falcons for the dramatic 3-2 comeback victory over Morocco in the Women's African Cup of Nations final in Rabat. In recognition of the achievement, Dr. Orama pledged to redeem his promised incentive of 500,000 per goal, amounting to 1.5 million naira upon the team's return to Nigeria with the trophy. Dr. Orama praised the Super Falcons for their fighting spirit, highlighting their ability to overturn a 2-0 defeat to clinch a 10th WAFCON title. He commended team captain Rasheedat Ajibade and goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie for winning player and goalkeeper of the tournament respectively, and extended accolades to coach Justin Madugu, who was named coach of the tournament. According to Dr. Orama, this performance of the Super Falcons and their coaching crew showcases the strength of indigenous football talent and coaching expertise. He said his support stems from a desire to promote young talent through Orama Football Club and Academy, with the goal of nurturing future stars capable of winning global honors for Nigeria. That's the most we can take on Idea TV News Updates, but before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. Federal government launches 10 million naira support scheme for tertiary institution workers. Federal government targets over 2 million jobs through Renewed Hope housing program. Enugu and other states challenge NERC's monopoly on electricity pricing. UN chief urges end to hunger's weapon of war at Africa Food Summit. And in health, FG Unveils cancer treatment subsidy commissions 3 oncology centers. And in business, Africa is set to celebrate quality excellence at 2025 African Quality Congress in Lagos. And in sport, finally, Orama FC chairman pledges 1.5 million naira to Super Falcons for WAFCON victory. Do not hesitate to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Chinatu Oji. Thank you for watching.